Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Kyoto Racing Club's Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship, Season 13. This is the crossover we didn't want, we didn't need, but we've got it anyway. It's Fusion and Pro 1. So these two lobbies merged. I'll be honest, I mock it, but we had a superb race at Interlagos last time out. A few surprising results as well. So we've got the reverse grid race now, which is the results taken from Interlagos, turned upside down, and it gives us a grid for this one. So as you can see, everyone now in their own cars. So Rick's in the Jag, that will start well. So will Valium in the NSX, but Street Boy, Diablo, White Shot Phil, who else is in a... anyone in an Audi is going to have a problem here. Someone maybe to watch out for here is going to be Matt Elwood. That Citroen flies off the line. It's one of the best starting cars in the game. These boys in the Audis will struggle. I'd imagine Mental Nev, who's there in the McLaren, will probably do a good start as well. So we'll see how these guys get on. We are at Kyoto, Yamagiwa, Miyabi. Yeah, that one. Probably my most hated track in the game. So we're here. We're going to do half an hour of this. Let's get this show on the road then. So Rick's got pole position for this one. Gets a good start. Everyone gets very well. The Porsche there of Possum at Pop flies off the line. Matt Elwood as well, like I said, the Citroen. He's going to be challenging Potter into turn one. Has to back out of it. He's got a Fat Pickles wearing a McLaren for company as well. Pretty much the back of the order is all Audi. It is all Audi at the back. So all these Audi boys. There is a McLaren snuck in there somewhere, but they've all got a lot of work to do now over the next half an hour to recover basically just the time lost at the start. Matt Elwood, the biggest winner probably out of all that, close to the back of the grid in the Citroen. The Citroen also, it's a pretty good car. I think it's a bit shaky on the curbs, but we'll see how he copes with that. Meanwhile, Rick in the Castrol Jag, he's leading out in front. He's got Valium for company in P2. Potter Pot in the Porsche. He's strung some good results out of that Porsche as Potter, so he's definitely going to be one to watch. That car does typically handle its tyres quite nicely. I don't really know enough about the Citroen to give an accurate opinion. Fat Pickles Bros in a McLaren, we know they're a very capable car. And then we've got the first of the Audis being headed up by White Shot Phil in the Castrol. We've got Diablo, we've got White Shot Jim there as well, challenging Diablo for that P7. He gets it on the inside. Diablo doesn't really put much of a fight. And we've got the Fusion leader, GTTCC, also going for that spot. Gets himself nudged up to P8 nicely. P1 Dylan, winner last time out, already up to P10. We've got Mental Nev in the McLaren P11, JRC in the Audis P12, and Street Boy P13. We have some challenging going on for P2. We've got Pot having a look at Valium. It's coming down towards the hairpin, then towards the end of the lap. Valium defending it. Potter's just going to try and hang this one round the outside. The outside turns to the inside for the chicane. So if Potter can get a good exit, he's got the race in line. So Potter does get that move made. Matt Elwood's going to try and take advantage as well. Now this is the Citroen, so they really ergonomically designed this around the driver's vision, because you can't see anything when you're in the cockpit of this thing. You literally have to have 80 vision to be able to see the curbs in this car. But Matt Elwood, definitely the NHS in South Africa is providing some bionic eyes or something for him to be able to see through that one. Fat Pickles both starting to come under pressure from these Audis now, so it's just a case of how long he can hold on. The Audis are a faster car, they just don't get off the line very well. They're a big lump. They suit this track nicely as well. These high downforce corners really suit the Audis' sort of strength. They're not so good in the slow speed stuff, as our cameraman just about gets run over by about 15 Audis there. And GTTCC up to 7th then, as we go a few wide. That was White Shot Jim looking up the tail end of Valium. Valium's going backwards now, unfortunately. Rick is escaping away in that Jag. Possum at Pot doing a good job behind him, but Matt Elwood's looking to pressurise. We've got White Shot Phil. I should absolute send down the inside by White Shot Phil. It was a beautiful move. cuts Matt Elwood's nose off at the apex as well, so he can't cut him back. That was beautiful racing there by White Shark Phil, and no wonder he's the defending champion. Who else have we got in the fray? White Shark Jim. Oh no, it's White Shark Jim who's the defending champion, but it was still good driving by White Shark Phil. Don't take anything away from it. White Shark Jim gets a cut on Valium there. Is Deli B going to try and follow him through? I think he is. It's a very tight right-hander, so Deli's going to want to get over to that right-hand side. He does get over pretty quickly. Valium's going to want that spot back pretty quickly as well. Matt Elwood now, as you can see in that Citroen, starting to come undone a little bit. Now these Audis are starting to catch him up. The South Africans just starting to come undone a little bit in that Audi. These in that Citroen, sorry, these Audis are proving to be a force to be reckoned with. As Pot starts to do battle with White Shark Phil now. And Potter in that Porsche is a valiant defender of the German brand, and will fight to the very last morsel of his being to not give up that P2 spot. But sometimes it's just going to be too much. Those Audis are going to steam past in the straight. These reverse skid races, the first 4 or 5 laps just tend to be, as you see Deli B give White Shark Phil a bit of a love tap there. There just tend to be people sorting their order out, and then strategy falls into play. Dylan's actually having a pop at Deli here. Dylan, we've not spoke much about him. He won last time out. He's in the fastest car. He's driving wheel to wheel with the current leader of the Fusion League. For the time being though, through the S's it's single file only. Dylan's just going to have to line up a move in a place where it's just maybe a little bit more comfortable. So saying that, it's going right down the inside. He's going to use the slipstream off White Shark Phil to get that move made. So in the end, it's quite a nice easy move for P1 Dylan. GTW doesn't actually fight that one too much. And it's good to see Deli B back playing the game again after his PS4 melted into smithereens. One of the lucky few that's got his hand on a PS5. I've seen, as I'm recording this, he's currently racing in another MRC league. So good luck to Deli B in that. I think he was running like P3 when I was looking at him. So Matt Elwood then starting to go backwards. Next is Valium's proving to be a little bit of a plug here. So Fat Pickles both struggled to get past Mental Nev as well. We know Mental Nev's exceptionally capable. He's struggling so far. And Street Boy must have had a bit of an excursion off the circuit somewhere, as we see Rick GTR coming under pressure now from White Shark Jim for the lead of the race. Ricky's going to defend this. I've raced wheel to wheel with these guys quite a lot, to be fair. Rick's quite a good defender, but White Shark Jim's an excellent attacker. He will snipe his moment, and he will strike when the time is right. Meanwhile in P4, P1 Dylan just trying to hold off White Shark Phil. Deli B and JRC Racing starting to get involved in this little scuffle as well. Oh, there's a little bit of love tapping going on there from White Shark Phil. I think he was just going to try and sneak it down the inside, but this is an instant replay. He's just going to watch still. Yeah, I think White Shark Phil tries to dummy him a little bit actually, and yeah, that was probably a little bit clumsy, but he probably just thought he had the space to get past him. There was no malice in there. If anything, that's cost White Shark Phil, a drive against Deli. Is Deli going to try and sneakaroo one up? As we see, Potter has relinquished that P3 spot. White Shark Jim firmly on the tail end of that Jaguar up ahead, and it is only a matter of time, you feel now, before that that black and white Audi gets released into the Neverland. I think GTR actually not bothering to defend this one. He's going to let the Audi go down the inside. It may well prove to be a sensible move. Potter and Dylan then going at it. And the Audi is going to be a stronger car. The Porsche strategically has its advantages. It will hold its tyres better. It is a better cornering machine. But cornering isn't as important here as just having outright speed, which Dylan at the minute will have in that Audi, as he's sort of just touring cars his way down the inside and gets himself up to P3. GT Deli B then He's got a face full of German backside ahead of him as he chases Potter down the hill. Potter's going to defend this one. Potter's actually slid sideways into Dylan. As late on the brakes as he could be there, Potter in fact locking the rears up, and that's sportsmanship at its finest. Potter just lifts off and lets the cars go through. Realises the error of his ways. That's actually cost him a spot to JRC as well. They had a very good outing last time out at Interlagos. Let's have a little bit of a recap. So we've got White Shark Phil P7. He's got himself past Matt Elwood. Mental Nev's got past Fat Picklesbro somewhere. He's up to P9 now. Valiant P11. His race has kind of fallen apart, I'm afraid. Had a really good start, but now the man from Down Under, the Aussie superhero himself, Diablo, is up to P11, which, yeah, P11. And Street's actually catching back up to these guys. He's lapping faster than all the cars ahead, so I think Street will get himself back in that fight. What's crack-a-lacking up ahead then? So White Shark Jim, as we covered earlier, it is past Rick. Set the fastest lap of the race on that lap as well, 2:24.9. Only Audis are able to set lap times like that. Dylan, currently 2:26s, but projected 2:25. I'd imagine Delhi will do something very similar this time around as well. Potter's now got the interest of yet another Audi fanboy in White Shark Phil. He's going to look to throw one up the inside. That's taken right from the Jason Plato handbook, that is, and Potter really can't do too much to defend that. White Shark Phil gives him a little bit of a love tap onto the grass as well to let him know he's there. Mental Dev's going to try and sneak through around the outside. The McLaren, that was really good top end. It just doesn't have much opportunity to show it here. Oh, he's getting a little bit bitey here. Oh, Potter's gone. Yeah, he's gone also. What's happened? What's happened here, Potter? Let's have a look. Yeah, so he was barged a little bit at the apex there. That was a little bit naughty, Phil, but we'll see what we've got. We've got Mental Nev there as well, charging his way through in the McLaren. Potter gets a nudge. I heard it. He got a nudge from back. Not intentional, like. No, it's Matt Elwood. This is on board the roof cam. Yeah, he gets a nudge. Look at the braking zone. It's people trying to put the car in the right place, really. So that unfortunately has fallen apart Potter's race a little bit. He's down in P12 now. Yeah, there he is. He's giving Street someone to race. So Mental Lev from languishing in P11 to being in P6, probably near enough the first non-Audi. We've got Rick GTR, who's doing a great job of defending against all these Audis. As P1 Dylan is the next car to have an attack on the super liveried Jaguar. You can just see the acceleration difference between the Audi and everything else. Dylan's actually having to get out of the throttle here because he can't overtake. So this will be costing Dylan precious lap time. He tries to slide down the inside. Rick just gets picks up a little bit of understeer. That's DT. We're going to have a look at GTW. We've got a very clear run of this. So this is instant replay. So you're going to watch Dylan just try and cut down the inside. Rick just understeers into his path, and Deli B, like Moses in the Red Sea, says thank you very much, I'll go through and I'll have P2. We've got JRC in the background of this fight as well, as we go 3 wide into the hairpin. JRC will quite enjoy watching this because he can pick up some positions if any of these guys bin each other off, and Rick GTR with some great racecraft gets himself back to P2. He's just going to let Dylan and GTW fight it out for that P3 spot. And we do of course have a long way to go as we get a little bit of lobby glitching. You do get the feeling that Dylan's gonna have a proper yeet at Rick's car any minute now, but Rick might just play this cute and not defend it too much. That's indeed what he does. Gives him plenty of room at the apex. And then, yeah, you got the inside line for the next corner. Then that just depends on how good of a job the Audis are getting past him at the minute. Rick got the better of the two exits, has gone off the inside line coming into the long sweeping left-hander. Dylan hangs his car on the outside there. I don't know what he was expecting to achieve with that, but he's held it, he has, and I've got the worst camera angle in the entire world. DTTCC's got himself up to P2 with that, and Dylan actually in the end, I criticise that move around the outside, but he's pulled it off. It's up to P3 for Dylan. Rick GTR's down in P4. He's got JRC Racing now, trying to swallow the Jag up. JRC's going to try and throw one straight down the inside. These long sweeping corners are the Audi's sort of sweet spot, really. They do enjoy a long sweeper route. Rick GTR's done a bit of agricultural work there. Mental Nev's getting chased down by Matt Elwood now. No, it's the other way around. It's Mental Nev's got past Matt Elwood. My apologies. So the McLaren now making moves. So it is an all Audi top 4. GTW and P1 Dylan scrapping it out yet again for honours. White Shot Jim, whether he can, it's all going to come down to the pits, because these two guys love a no-stop. So Deli B and P1 Dylan will no-stop wherever they can. It's quite a high deck circuit this, so whether they decide to. I reckon White Shot Jim will pit, because he's pushing that hard in this early stage. I reckon he'll pit, you know. Probably the end of next lap. Or this lap if he wants to be safe. But I guess we'll see. I know nothing about this race, I've not seen it before. What else is crack-a-lacking? We have lost Potter from the route. We've got Valium and Street Boy fighting it out. White Shark Phil, that lad had an absolute horror show at 2:31.4. We missed something with White Shark Phil. Monsieur Fat Pickles Bro, P8 for him. He's going to be trying to follow his McLaren compadre through, past the Citroen. And yes indeed, White Shark Jim does pit. The White Shark pit crew smashing out a set of tyres on that Audi, gets him back out into the race. Everyone pits actually, GTW pits, Dylan pits, they're all in. There's one car that stayed out, that's Diablo. So the Aussie, oh, he had to, bit of a, he needs new pants I think. That'll wake him up. Of course, when these races are happening for us in the UK, it's 9 o'clock at night. For him, it's like 5 in the morning or something daft. So that will have definitely woke him up. Doesn't need his morning lager anymore. Alright, so pit stops in. 14 minutes to go. Let's see who's got what. 22.5 minutes in then. And we're on board with Fat Pickles Bro, the McLaren 650S GT4. He's chasing down the imaginary Citroen up ahead. Matt Elwood getting all on the curbs, and Fat Pickles Bro's been in this up this Citroen's rear end for a little bit of for a few laps, to be fair. Matt Elwood took an interesting line there through that. Oh, his back end stepped out. Oh, he's off the track. What's Pickles going to do here? Is he just going to try and throw one up the inside? I think he is. Matt Elwood's actually outbroke himself a little bit. Pickles, full lock. He's going to get that McLaren past. Sweeps it around the outside. That's Fat Pickles Bro up to P7. Nice move by Monsieur Pickles. Meanwhile, a little bit further up, we've got Rick GTR. He's been holding off the McLaren for a while as well. So while over that battle behind's been going on, these two have been, in essence, scrapping as well. Rick so far has been doing a great job of keeping Mental Nev at bay. But we do think it might just be a matter of time before Mental Nev has a pop. He's having a look down the inside. Rick late on the brakes in that Jag. And the McLaren is a much more nimble machine, but the Jag with its power just powers out through the corner. And Rick has got himself a little bit more time then. Remains in P5. Let's have a flick through the field. So we've still got White Shark Jim leading the way. He's doing a good job out there. Well, I said that, and then he's off the track. But yeah, he's still in P1. That will no doubt cost him a few tenths, so dirty tyres as well. That's going to give Dylan a little bit of an incentive to catch him up. Dylan's done the exact same lap time 2 laps in a row, so 2:24.089, the exact same time twice in a row. I don't think he's going to do it 3 times though. 2:24, no, he's not far off. 2:24.5. So come on Dylan, pick it up. You lost 4.5 times there, mate. Delhi B meanwhile, I'd argue dropped back from Dylan a little bit, so that little off-circuit adventure that White Shark Jim has been on is going to put him under pressure for the last 5 minutes now. We are just going to stick with this till the end of the race now, the uncut version. So, evolving stories of the race. Can Dylan snatch a second victory from the back of the grid? Can Delhi B catch back up to those two and stop them? JRC's kind of out of that fighting on his own now. Can Rick GTR hold off Mental Lev? Looks like that one might be over soon. Rick GTR's gone very wide there. That might cost him a little bit of speed at the apex. Let's see. For the time being, Rick is doing all he needs to do. So he's doing a grand job in P5. Mental Lev P6. I think Rick's locked a brake though, but he managed to hold it. Fat Pickles up to P7. Matt Elwood P8. Diablo P9. I've got White Shark Phil P10. Street Boy P11, and then Valium in the pits at the minute, and has been there for 2 laps now. So we're looking at 2.5 minutes a lap. We have got 2 laps remaining, so this one and then another 2, so enough time for Dylan to mount a serious offensive on the car ahead. Dylan does hold the fastest lap of the race. In theory he's the fastest car on track at the minute. Let's see if he can mount an attack on the current Fusion Champion with the reigning Fusion Champion behind him, the one that is the Fusion Champelette that is GTW-Racing. He's not been officially sworn in yet, but the points are on the cards for him basically. He just needs to bring it over the line. He needs those key Michigan votes, does GTW-Racing. Those key Michigan votes being good results in the last couple of races, and he should be all good to go. Meanwhile, P1 Dylan and right at the back of White Shark Jim as we start lap number 12 here at Kyoto. P1 Dylan's going to try and launch one down the inside. White Shark Jim doesn't bother defending it, just tries to carry as much speed through the corner as he possibly can. Speed is his defence. I am speed, says White Shark Jim as he powers ahead through that corner ahead of the P1 driver. Dylan though, you get the feeling just not taking any prisoners today. He looks for that inside line. There's a big black Audi in the way. He's going to have to go the long way around if he wants this that much. He's going to try and hold it, but around the outside moves around here, very risky. Good respectful racing between the two of them. Dylan again having a look around the outside of the car and makes it somehow stick. But White Shark Jim, sorry I cut away there, I didn't mean to do that. White Shark Jim is giving him a good fight here. Dylan though is pushing hard to get through. We will keep an eye on that, and if any overtakes happen, of course, we will rewind and catch them. But these two bumper to bumper for the time being. There is no separating either of them. Dylan's just got to, well, will have been using the last lap or so, I guess, to measure up his man and seeing if there's any mistakes being made in the White Shark Gym camp. White Shark Gym does tend to drive pretty consistently, pretty cleanly. He's predictable in a lot of ways, and that he pretty much hits the same apex every time. Dylan does have that reckless streak to him though, so he will go for the risky move. He will try the risky play. For the time being though, that has got him from the back of the grid to P2. He's definitely in with a shot of that P1 spot. So we're 1 minute away from the closure of this race. They'll get across the line in time to start a 13th and final lap. Let's go back to that in a moment. Deli B. So I just want to check on this fight. So Rick is just holding back a horde of cars now. So there's Mental Nev, there's Fat Pickles Bro, Matt Elwood's a few cars back. These two guys actually quite enjoying a little fight at the back. Those two guys are. So we'll keep an eye on the two battles that I really want to watch. Is White Shark Jim v Dylan, Rick, Mental Nev and Fat Pickles Bro, which will all be decided within the next 2.5 minutes. Going up the axis for the final time, then White Shark Jim is ahead of P1 Dylan. Dylan's favourite overtaking spot is coming up though. If he can get his car just ahead, he can't. And White Shark Jim is what is a wise old fox. He's blocked that apex off. Having to take that narrow route will sort of cost him a few miles an hour in terms of his apex speed. Dylan basically pushing him down the road at this minute in time. Jim handles pressure really well though, so this won't be bothering him. He'll actually be enjoying this little fight. Dylan's going to try and sweep around the outside, carry more speed. It's a great move by Dylan. That's a beautiful move. I'm just going to go. I just want to watch that from Dylan's perspective. Let's just go on it. Let's go inside his head. So just on the brakes late, lots of nice trail braking. Yeah, just a lovely move. Just an absolutely lovely move. So that is P1. Mental Nev has made a move on Rick. Let's go back and watch that. So while that was going off, we're watching Mental Nev, Rick, GTR, Fat Pickles Bro, all dicing with danger. On the final lap of the race, Mental Nev just with a I think Rick may have hit a curb wrong. It's just cost him a few miles an hour. Mental Nev's slid one up the inside on the last lap. That'll be gutting for Rick, who did a fantastic job of defending against a horde of what is to be said Audis and everything else. Can Fat Pickles Bro make anything stick? Fat Pickles for the time being backs out of any move he was thinking of. Instead, yeah, Rick stays ahead for the time being. Matt Elwood a little bit too far back from that, but if any of these cars fall off, he will take advantage of it. We've already had Street Boy, White Shark, Phil, and Valiant. They've all crossed the line. Oh, risky play. Let's have a look at let's just watch it on the full action cam. So we're coming towards the end of the lap basically now. We've got about a third of a lap remaining. So Dylan is leading the race at the minute. White Shark Jim with the late brake strat goes down the inside of the P1 driver. I think, yeah, he backs out of that actually. So I think Jim just mistakenly just on the brakes a little bit late and just lets Dylan retake that P1 spot. So fair racing in the end. Contact will happen. You can't be mad at that. The spectators going wild then. As P1 Dylan comes towards the end of his 13th and final lap. So to say he's driving in a league 2 leagues lower. So this is basically like Bradford City beating Manchester United. Manchester United's not a good team anymore, is it? What's a good football team in Premier League? Chelsea? Yeah, it's basically like Bradford City beating Chelsea in the FA Cup. So Dylan P1, White Shark Jim P2, GT Deli B P3. He'll be happy with the points for that, I should imagine. Don't forget that will equate to a P2 in Fusion. JRC, that's technically a Fusion podium for him. Mental Nev, that is a P2 for the Pro 1. And then side by side, Rick and Fat Pickles. Well, Rick's just about going to take this. Let's ride on board with Fat Pickles Bro actually and just see how that looked from his perspective. So he's going to just get a better run out of this final corner. Just fully committed on the loud pedal there, Fat Pickles Bro. And as we come towards the line, yeah, Rick is just ahead still. So the power of that Jaguar saving him. Matt Elwood P8 and Diablo going to be the last car to finish in P9 then. So thanks for watching, ladies and gents. It's been a pleasure. Catch you next time.